Hello, hello, Princess Rose. Oh, thank you, Princess. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Because I'm using the phone today, not the system. Thank you, Princess. Oh, girl, if it's comfortable. I was just sitting here. I just laying here, and the thought came to me. Good. In Princess, I know you're gonna invite others over because this notification thing, I don't know, it's getting on my nerves. That people don't know when I'm on, but apparently you got it, right, Princess? You got your notification. I don't know why nobody else gets theirs. You got yours, right? Your notification. Are you working today, Princess? Because I know you work so much. Good morning, everyone. If there's any silent watchers, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, I'm still in bed. Yes, I'm still in bed. Thank you, Princess. Thank you. Yeah, I know you work hard, so you're popping in as always. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Princess, I was just thinking we had a wonderful. Oh, you're going on vacation? Girl, you deserve it. Girl, I'm so happy for you. Where you heading? Where you heading? Good morning, good morning. If there's any silent watchers, just want to welcome you. Just want to welcome you to this quick morning chat. And as you see the topic, is it okay to say you're not okay? I was laying here and I was just going over the service yesterday. Man, we had a speaker this week at our church, and I'm telling you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on. As you come on, like for me. And those of you who are watching silently, please, 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 please like for me. Like for me. Yes, I was just laying here, and after my morning meditation, I was just thinking, of the sermon yesterday and all that I'm going through and I've been through, and how, God has carried me. Go ahead, girl. If there's any mangoes down there, eat some for me, or make sure you have some good coconut water and snapper. Make sure you have some good coconut water and snapper and lay on the beach and get some rest because you work so hard, Princess Rose. You work so hard. So I was saying, I was here, and I was meditating and just looking at my life and just thanking God for accepting me in my flaws, and just thanking God for accepting me with all my flaws and recognizing that change is hard, but it can happen. And even though, you revert back to your old ways, as long as you keep trying and working and moving forward, and then listening yesterday to the sermon, that the goal is accepting that you're accepted by God. First, that we must accept that He accepts us. And once we accept that He accepts us with all our flaws, then it makes everything else not easy, but bearable. And then the thought came to me, is it okay to say you're not okay? Is it okay? And what are the benefits from saying you're not okay. The thought just came to me, Princess Rose. And I decided that, you know what? I'm in a lazy mood today because I don't have much to do. You know, living alone, you don't have a lot of things to do every day. And the thought came to me, is it okay to say you're not okay? And what are the benefits? Because, you know, I always look at the positives when I can look at them, I look at them because it helps you to get through stuff. What are the positive to say that we are not okay? And are we going to say that we are not okay to folk who can be supportive? So let's see if, any more folks come on while Princess Pack. Let's see if anyone else come on. I know there are people in the quiet room, as I call it. And I'm asking you to like the live after, you participated. You don't have to like everything I say or do because, that's not the goal, but the fact that you're on the channel. Oh, I didn't know that, Princess. You're such a perky supporter that I didn't know you went through all of that. Yes, we can't tell everybody. Welcome as you come in. Please like for me. I need your likes. Yeah, we can't tell everybody we're not okay. As I almost say, as I always say, we have to have our village, and our village doesn't have to have 100 people. Angela, thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. Angela, thank you for coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like and share for me, Angela. Like and share for me. We can't tell everyone that we are not okay. But there must be that person or those persons that we can tell that we are not okay. Because your village doesn't have to be 1,000 people, because sometimes out of the 1,000 persons that are in the village, there are only a few dependent one. So that's another thing, is recognizing. I know, Angela, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do about this notification issue. Because you should be getting notification. You should be. Angela, did you tick all? When you subscribe and like, did you tick all? When you go back in, Angela, someone said that they went back in and they tick all and they were able to get me. So go back in and tick all and see what reception you got. Thanks for joining. And as you come in, please remember to like. Please remember to like for me. Yeah, so our village doesn't have to be 1,000 people. And if you have 1,000 persons in your village, as I started to say, if they're not working for you, then you need to readjust that. You need to readjust that, because in this time, people are hurting, and having positive people around you and having people that are transparent and honest and willing to share, it's important. Okay, I see. Okay, Angela, I see. So then everyone just has to share out for me, and I shared out on Twitter. And so, we have to know what works for us and what doesn't work, because there's one thing: living in pain, emotional pain, That's not that's not joy. That's not joy. So there must be persons. Oh, you're in St. Thomas, Angela. Welcome, welcome. How's the weather there? How's the weather there? Living in pain and having folk around you that you cannot trust and cannot talk to. To me, that's a waste of time. That's a waste of time. Getting your circle down to having trusted people in your circle is so important right now. Having a crowd around you, that's not necessarily beneficial to you, you know? Okay, yeah, here it's nice and sunny and hot. And we're in our winter season right now in Arizona. We're in the high 90s. I didn't check today, but we're probably about 94, 95 right now. We're in our winter because we're coming down from 114 and 120. So we're experiencing winter. So we're getting very, very happy here. Giselle, how are you? I have not seen you here in a while. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for your support, Giselle. Thanks for your support. Like as you come in and share out, Giselle, because Facebook is not allowing notification. So share out, Giselle, and thanks for those who are inviting people on. You know, I always appreciate having you on here. Always appreciate. Happy Sunday to everyone. Happy Sunday. I know that there are those that goes to church today. So if you know, happy Sunday to everyone, and a healthy, prosperous week, and take your husas where you need to take it to cope during the week and just come up for air. So is it okay to say you're not okay? So we're talking about having a large group of people around you that doesn't serve you. Because you can know when people don't serve you. If you're calling someone and you're the only one doing the calling and they're not calling back. Okay, Giselle. Okay, yes, that's right. That's right. And you did comment. You did comment on quite a few. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Okay. Okay. So, you know, finding the folks that work, because having a large circle, and I keep saying this because people are coming on, so the conversation will seem repetitious to those that are just coming on. But remember, I'm also have people that are interfacing with me live. So I go back and answer them. And as you come in, guys, remember, give me that like. Give me that like. I need your support. I need your support. I need your support to get me where I'm going. You guys have been doing an awesome job. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love the fact that you take the time out to join me. So continue to like for me, guys. Yeah, so as I was saying, you know, having a crowd around you that doesn't serve you, we have to look at it and adjust it, like everything else in life. You wear a shoe, and after a while it starts to burn you or it starts to break down. You're not going to continue wearing the shoe. You're going to change. So sometimes we have to change the circle that we have, decrease the circle so it can benefit us. Because going through life, believe me, I have that experience with someone. Going through life on 10 every day, that's a miserable way to live. Every day you're angry. I'm not saying we don't get angry, because I do. There are things that triggers me. I do. But I'm saying going on 10 every day, that's no way to live. That's misery. So find that person or those persons, whether it be friends, family, a professional, and get rid of some of the things that creates unhappiness constantly in our lives. Do things. Princess Rose is going on vacation. She works very hard. Since I've had this channel, there are supporters that doesn't leave me, and she works very hard, and it's nice to see her taking time out to enjoy yourselves. And I've said it every time, and it's getting to be our winter here in Arizona. We're heading in the 90s, and I'm always looking for things to do that I don't have to spend a lot of money. So, guys, I hope that I'll be able to share some of these places that I visited last year. You guys enjoyed it so much that I decided during October to about May here in Arizona, there's so much that goes on. We have the horse race. We we have the horse race. We have the car shows. We have so much, the kites, not kites, sorry, the air balloon. We have so much, so much, so much, so much, so much things that goes on here. So I'll try to visit them. Some of them you have to pay to go and others are free. And you know me, I'm always talking about, you know, decreasing spending. So I'll always find the free ones and those that I can afford to show you guys, because lifting our spirits with everything. Yes, Giselle. Yes. It doesn't make sense to say, I have a lot of friends and they're not serving you. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to say you have a lot of friends and they're not serving you. And again, I'm going to say what I've said so much. Again, I'm going to say what I've said so much. If your friends cannot tell you when you're wrong, if they cannot correct you when you're wrong, and this is my opinion and my views, they're not serving you. They're not serving you. Because to be the best of who we want to be, first, surrendering to God. Second, allowing the Holy Spirit to guide your life. And third, having people in your life that can tell you when you're wrong. That's what brings, for me, joy. You know, because happiness comes from within, you know? So having accountability partners, if you will, you know, every time you have your interface with your friends, it's not going to be serious. You can, last night I went out with my friend. She came to church yesterday. We had a wonderful time. We stayed at church. At our church, we have lunch. Probably 2 weeks out of the month, we'll have corporate lunch after service. And let me tell you something. Again, we're talking about lifting our spirit and how to lift our spirit, when to say we are not okay. And you're not going to tell everybody in your church you're not okay, but just, you know, enjoying the company of the people you associate with at church. To me, you know, and the wonderful thing is everybody has their own table. And you know, I pick a table and I went around and I invite people to my table, and we sat and we chat, we reminisce about how wonderful the speaker was yesterday. Hi, Corette. Hey, how are you? Thanks for coming and thanks for passing through. I appreciate you. Give me some love while you're here. Remember to give me some likes, Corette. Thank you, thank you. Share out to friends who you know. Share us out, please. Thanks to those who are watching without coming in the chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I know a lot of people is either at work or at church today, and I appreciate you guys popping in and saying hello to the Queen. Thank you, thank you. I'm lounging in bed a little bit today. I'm lounging in bed a little bit today and just decide to share. The service was so good at church yesterday. We had a speaker from Trinidad, and I'm telling you, he has been here all week, and he just shifts the mindset with how he spoke to us, and helping us to realize who is important, who is important, that even though life gets rough with us, even though life gets rough with us, center on God. And once we see God as our center, life gets better. So that's why I decided to come on, and to share with you guys. And we don't go around and tell everyone our problems, but having that person or those persons, whether it's be your family or larger society or community, and just to share to make life a little easier. There's so much things that comes in our way that derails us. The flood in New York. Oh my goodness. That flood in New York, as someone who has lived in New York most of her life, I really feel it for those folks up there. And then the positive, because that's what we're talking about today. The positive. I looked on YouTube, and there was Mrs. Go teaching you my cooking skill, Donna Go, aka the Planker Queen, aka 99 Queen. There she was again, reaching out to the schools and the institutions that are going through such a difficult time, reaching out to them, and with the aid of our Plankertarians, coming up with funds to support them. So we have to look at everything that is positive to keep our spirits up. And don't get me wrong, keeping your mind stayed on Jesus makes the difference. However, there are other tools that we can use to keep our spirits going, looking at things and experiencing things that are positive, being around people that are positive, getting laughter in when you can. Don't walk around with your face looking like you just came out of the Iraq War. Yes, life is hard. Yes, things are rough. The bills are not going down, they're just going up. But again, with budgeting and planning, we have to be so intentional with our mental health that we have to look at everything that we can do to decrease the stresses in your life. You know what I did this summer? In the vein of transparency, you know what I did this summer? I decided not to use a gardener. I decided not to use a gardener this summer because it's costly. It's very costly. As a single person, I'm constantly reshifting my budget, reshifting my pennies, and I decided that it's 120. The flowers are going to dry up. Yes, they are. They're going to dry up. So, it's what it is. As long as my neighbors are not offended by the look of my yard, and I do keep it clean myself, I just don't do a good as a job as my gardener. My neighbors have not complained, the HOA has not complained, and I told myself, I'm going to save that money until the winter comes, when in the winter time, and I don't have winter like you guys, but once it goes below 110, we are winter here. So in the winter time, oh my goodness, my garden is pristine. My garden is beautiful because that's when everybody's out. That's when we're interacting with each other. So everybody just give that extra special care in my subdivision about taking care of their yard. We tend to get a little, we don't want to spend the money for gardening. So why did I say that? Everything in our life that creates stress, money beside gossiping and not getting along with people, money is our biggest stress. So anywhere we can look at to change how we manage our money, decrease our stresses. Because we don't have to work overtime when we're already so frustrated. We don't have to work overtime if we manage our stress. We don't have to work overtime if we manage not our stress, our finances. We don't have to work overtime every month. There are those times when we have to, but we don't have to work overtime every month if we look at the areas. We look at the areas that we can improve. So I went out with my girlfriend last night, and that socialization cost us nothing. We bought something to drink, we bought a chips, and we just socialized, and it was fun. It was fun because I decided that I'm going to be intentional about my mental space and about, how I deal with stress, because there's a lot going on in my family right now. There's so much going on that it's burdensome to see your loved one sick. It's burdensome. So what I would encourage us to do, find someone if you're not feeling okay. Find someone that you have already built a relationship with, that you can share with in confidence, and tell them, I'm not feeling good today. I just can't get things right. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong with me today. Share it. And in sharing it, that person will come up with something that makes you laugh. That person will come up with something that makes you laugh. If you have a husband and there are things you're going through in your life that you're keeping it from him, find a way to share it. You should be able to share the things that are hurting you with your spouse, whether it's male or female. Share it. Share it, because it's important to find joy during the day. Someone said to me yesterday, we were talking, and they said, they're going through a very difficult time, and we were talking, and the person said, I'm taking it a day at a time. I said, that's too much. Taking it a day at a time, that's too much. Take it an hour at a time. Yes, Giselle. It's important for us to be able to pay our bills. People say money is not everything. Money does not make you happy. However, it brings a sense of peace and security. So when we can't pay our bills, it creates added stress. So managing our money is one part of decreasing our stress. Yes. And taking time, as Giselle is saying, with all the bills and everything that we have, that's my interpretation, Giselle, that we should take time. Take time to find something to enjoy and reshift our mindset. But I must say, if you're not managing your money good, you can't reshift your mindset, because all you're focusing on, how can I make the next dollar? How can I make the next dollar? So managing your money, budgeting. I mean, this summer was very difficult for me because I had a lot of traveling to do that was unexpected. But managing your money ahead of the emergencies is what decreased the stress. Exercising, it's hot here. So I did not do a lot of exercise this summer. I did not, but that's something that helps me to reduce my stress. I learned to ride. I think I'm going into my first year since, or maybe it's the second year I've learned to ride. Yes, I learned to ride year before last November, believe it or not. I wanted something new to do outside when I'm not mountain climbing or walking. I don't jog. I don't jog. I'm a long walker. And my neighbor taught me to ride. And I tell you, I'm looking forward to it. This week I'm going out. I'm going to wash my bike because it's been sitting outside all summer. I'm going to wash my bike and I'm going to start back my riding because it's not too hot to ride. So find things to do. First, we find someone to talk to. Then we find things to do to occupy our mind and create a balance with the children. Because those that are raising children, it's hard. School, homework, preparing them for school, it's hard. But come up for air when you can. Come up for air. Yes. Okay, correct. Thank you. Yes, Giselle. Budgeting and managing your money. Let me tell you something. Within the last 10 years, if I know, I didn't know, I'll look for you. Put the name up. Put the name up and I'll look for you. And I'll surely support you. Put the name up, correct, and I'll look for you and support you. Oh, really? Happy to hear that. Happy to hear that. Happy. Yes, we have to encourage each other. You know, we have to lift up each other. Okay. We have to encourage each other. We have to lift up each other. And we also have to take responsibility. As I said before, if every day you wake up, you are upset, check yourself. Maybe it's time to see a professional. Maybe it's time to see I experienced that with someone, and let me tell you something. It's a terrible thing to do. You being around them, you're walking on eggshells because the simplest little thing you do triggers them. The simplest, they're on 10, 24 hours. They go to bed upset. They wake up upset. Being around people like that, it's terrible. Even in working environment, that one co-worker who nothing pleases them. I'm sure you have experienced that. It's terrible to be, everybody avoid that person. There has to be something that gives you peace and joy during the day. If it's even for an hour. You know, I've known this. But you know when somebody says it, again, the experience I have in church last week and this week, especially yesterday, because I have some stuff I'm working on. And yesterday, just reshift my brain. It just reshift my brain. That speaker, you know, there are pastors that preach, and they preach and they sweat and they're just going on, but you're in the motion with them. Sometimes they're pastors like that. It's their job to preach, and they go up there and they're preaching, and you hear them. But that one person that speaks to your heart, speak to your soul, speak to you on a level of reconditioning the brain to think the way God wants us to think us. That's what this brother man did yesterday. And I got home, and I tell you, even during the lunchtime, I just keep going over what he says. And I was driving home, and I'm saying to God, please, God, please change my mindset, change my thoughts, because there is joy in life with all the stuff we're going through. So, so sorry, Giselle. That is one of the things. Yes, that is one of the things, Giselle. Giselle is saying, guys, that one of the things that have her, if I read it right, that have her upset, she's been upset because 2 months ago she lent a large sums of money to someone to help them in an emergency, and she's having difficulty getting. That's a large sum of money, Giselle. Giselle, let me tell you something, and this is just my opinion. I do not lend money. If I can't give it to you, I tell you I'm sorry, I can't help. I'm so happy you're able to do that, to find peace in it, in knowing that you have. But that's a large sum of money to lose right now. So that's hard. But I'm glad you saw the positive in it. And I believe that because you saw the positive in it, that she needed the help and you help her, God is going to let it be that one day when she's able to, she's going to pay you back. Yes, yes, correct. Yes, 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 correct. I agree with you. I would rather make the sacrifice to give you something. Someone borrowed that large sum of money from me. I will look at my finances and I would say, I can give you $200. But what I cannot give, I don't lend. What I cannot lose, I don't lend money out. I don't do it. If someone comes to me in need, if someone comes to me in need, I'll try my best because that's the core of who I am. I'll try my best to meet some of the need, but if it's a need that is that great, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going. Chances of getting back such a large sum of money, very, very slim these days. Because if the person, and I've never lent money, I've always given it. But I always ask the question, how are you going to pay this back? How would you manage next month? You have to borrow the rent this month. Next month, how are you going to manage? And therefore, how would you pay me back? And if it's a rent situation or food situation or even a car payment, I will always refer them to resources in their community. With a car payment, if you have paid your car payment 6 months straight without late fees, they will put that money to the back of the loan. They will put that money to the back of the loan. My topics are never what I say they're going to be. I guess it's a social worker in me. That money, if you have paid your car payment, and I think up to a minimum of 3 months, that you have never missed a car payment and if you have never had a late charge, you can call your lender. If you have a reputable lender, you can call your lender and say, I'm going, and this is the word you use, I'm going through financial hardship right now, temporarily. I see my way coming through this because I have a job. They will put that month's payment to the back of the loan. And that goes with anything. And I'm saying this because of the communication in the chat for all you silent listeners that are thinking that, oh, she's all over the place. In the chat, people are communicating with me, and when they put up something that they're going through, I always try to address it. Okay, so that's why it's like this. And again, we're talking about how is it okay to say you're not okay? And Giselle is saying, I wasn't okay for a while because I loaned a large sum of money to someone and I'm still struggling because I'm not getting it back. So my encouragement is, if you cannot lose it, don't lend it. If a person comes to you, a friend or family comes to you and say, I'm going through a hard time now and I need $2,000. Look at your finances. And if you cannot lose that $2,000 and be at peace with it, don't do it. Say to the person, I cannot afford, because you're not lying. I cannot afford to give this large sum right now, but I can give you $200 and you don't have to pay it back to me. I can give you $50 towards that crisis and you don't pay it back to me. You'll be better off doing that, because the giving releases positive emotion and endorphins, so you feel good about being able to give. You see, because here is it. If you're truly in an emergency and you're in need of funds, and you turn to someone and ask them for the entire amount, that's hard. But if you can get that amount from 4 or 5 people in your circle or in your family, take it. Don't expect someone to give you that large sum of money, even if you think, because here's the problem again. There are those of us who expect more from each other than we ourselves are willing to give or do. So because you see me, the car is running good, I'm working according to you, I'm dressing good and I'm living good, you think that I should be able to lend you. No. I'm going through the same struggle that you are going through. The difference is probably I'm going about it a different way to make my ends meet. You know, so if you're in need and you have circle around you that you can trust, ask everybody for assistance. But asking for that large sum of money, knowing that you cannot pay it back, it's wrong. It's wrong, because the person is giving it, is lending it to you to get it in return. So let's look at how we view our friends. Let's look at how we view our friends when we're in need. So what I'll say to you, Giselle, I'll join you in praying that the God is going to open a way for her, and he's going to touch her. The Holy Spirit is going to touch her heart for her to realize that she has to pay this money back. Because here's it. Her not paying the money back to you, what that does for you is you'll never lend her again. Am I right? You will never lend her anything again. And also, it changed the relationship. Not only will you not lend her again, but it changed the relationship, because you can no longer trust her word. You can no longer trust her words in saying, I'll do this, because she has proven that she cannot be trusted. So borrowing money breaks friendship. Let me tell you something. I will rather ask you and let you go talk about it than borrowing it. And I've been like this all my life. I am the type of person. Thank you. That is exactly what I'm saying. She'll never lend money to anyone again, period, because of this experience. And these are the things that weighs us down. These are the things that makes us, get into a space where, and I never say that, because something has happened to me doesn't mean I don't trust nobody. I used to say it, and I had to catch myself, because I'm a trustworthy person, so therefore I can trust somebody. I used to say it and I stopped. I can trust you. If I know you long enough, I can trust you. And let me tell you what has gotten me through life. You see, if something is bothering me and I tell you, or I'm in need and I turn to you, if I'm in need and I turn to you for assistance and you give it to me and you go and talk about it, it don't bother me one bit. I got the pain off my chest and I got my needs met. So guess what? It's on you. You telling someone that she came to me and she asked me for a pack of spaghetti. I got my spaghetti. You can continue talking. And sometimes we have to develop these behaviors to protect us from living in pain and anger, being angry all the time. There is a certain issue in my life. When I talk about it, it makes me angry. And I have pledged, especially listening to that pastor yesterday, I have pledged that I'm going to find a way so it does not make me that upset. That is what I'm working on for the next couple of, however it be, days, months, is to not let this issue upset me every time somebody brings it up. Because then I'm giving away my power to that situation. And I'm no longer going to do it. Because sometimes you just got to get bulleted. Sometimes you just got to get bulleted. That I'm no longer going to let that situation upset me the way it upset me a couple days ago. When I look back at it, I say, why did I allow that conversation to go in the vein it went? So we have to take responsibility to take our joy back. Talk about the things that bothers us. And stay away from the things that creates more stress. 4 months is a long time. And I'm glad that you're able to find an avenue of peace with it. Yes, you want it back, but from your conversation, you are trying an avenue of peace with it, that I'm not going to let it destroy me. I gave it with a good intention, and he or her took advantage of me. I want it back. I need it. It's mine. And that's what we have to do, not just with money. Because as I said, I had a conversation Friday night that went to a place that afterwards I was ashamed that I allow it to trigger me that bad. But that's something that hurts me to the guts. And I decided I am going to turn a new page over with that situation, so that when the conversation comes up, I can talk about it without getting upset. And then I went to church, and the sermon was about turn it over to God. Doesn't matter what it is, the thing that upsets you the most, focus on Jesus when you have to deal with it. Hard, but it can be done. So I'm glad, Giselle, that you have found a path that allow you not to say, hey, I'm going to forget about it, but put it to rest and leave it, that in time, something bigger than you and her is going to touch her heart. People say, oh, it's guilt they feel. We tend to use these phrases all the time. Oh, it's guilt, they feel guilty. Why they give it back to me? No, if you believe in a higher force than yourself, there's the Holy Spirit, prick them. And not only prick them, slap them in their back and bring them to the realization that you have to pay that back. And I am believing that it will happen with you, Giselle. And I'm glad. Keep that spirit. You have encouraged me. And I'm sure you have encouraged others in the chat. That when we hit brick walls, don't let them tumble us Don't let them fall on us and destroy us. So thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing that. That can't be easy. It's okay to say I'm not okay. It's okay to say I'm not okay. Because life is tough, but guess what? Having peace is better. And you cannot get peace from yourself. You have to get it from someone that is higher and larger than you. Those of us that believe in God, we turn it over to Jesus and we invite the Holy Spirit in. And in turning it over to Jesus, we surrender the pain. Is it hard? Heck no. I'm not talking to you all for views or points, I'm talking for encouragement. I have been through so much in the last few months. I thought when my son died, that was hard. But I've been through so much, not close like that. God knows I don't want to experience anything close like that again. But it's just that life of a way of just beating us down. And if we don't find something to hold on to, we're just going to live angry. Every second word a person say to us, we bite off their head. We criticize who she thinks she is. Why is she wearing that? And our pastor was talking about it in his sermon yesterday. Why is she wearing that? Oh my God, did you see that color pocketbook she wore with that dress? Misery creates those things. I had an experience where someone said to me they were trying to remind me of something. And they said the lady that had on the green dress, I said, child, the only color I know is the color I wore. Marlon and Vivian, happy Sunday. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on, Marvin and Vivian. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks so much for coming on. Give me some thumbs up, guys, and invite. Yeah, I'm trying to process it, Giselle. Next month will be 3 years. Next month will be 3 years since I lost him. And I'm putting myself in a better space to deal with to deal with it. It's been tough, but I'm putting myself in a better space that I don't fall apart next month on the date of his death. And, surround myself with people who understands my grief, and I'll be okay. I'll be okay. Thanks for your encouragement. Yeah, so Marlon, we're talking about, is it okay to say we're not okay? And where we are in the conversation is, if doing things like lending money to create added stress in our life, don't do it. Because lending money, the chances of getting back is just like winning the lotto. Unless it's someone that is really, 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 really close to you that understand that this is a sacrifice you made. Lending money is something I don't do. Thank you, Giselle. Thank you. So I am not one of those people that encourage anyone to lend money. If you can be in the position to give something towards the debt, it never, Giselle, never, never, never. There are those who would want you to pretend that, you're not supposed to talk about it because, it's what it is. But no, lending money, if you can avoid lending, for those who just join, where we are is, if you can avoid lending money to someone, avoid it. It destroys relationship and it builds an avenue of mistrust. So where you can assist and let the person seek the rest from someone else. Yes, Marlon, we were talking about it before you came. It is easy if a person comes to me and says, I'm having difficulty paying my rent. The first thing I do, and not everybody has this life experience to do this. I refer them to a resource that I know will assist them, because that's also helping them. Not because I don't give the money. I said, listen, this agency, if you go to them with your late payment letter from your landlord, they will. But what agency does, and we as humans and individuals, we can learn this from agencies. Agencies don't give you the money, They ask you for the name of the landlord and the address of the landlord, and they send the money to them. Oh my goodness, Marlon. Marlon said it's easier for him to give one of his kidney than lend someone money. That's deep. But I understand where you're coming from. Because you see, you're lending money out of your resource and you want to put it back. You want to put it back, and the person take it and then develop amnesia. And you know what can hurt me? They walk around like there's nothing wrong. They call you that like there's nothing wrong. Walter Sauce, where have you been, darling? Where have you been, Sharon? Welcome, 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 welcome. Thanks for coming in. I know you're busy. I know everyone here is busy, and I just appreciate you. It's Sunday. There are those people who have the children to attend to. They have church. So believe me, guys, if it's 1 or 100, I appreciate you all the same way. I appreciate you all the same. And for those silent watchers, silent listeners, I am also appreciative of you coming on. I hope that one day you will make yourself known, but if you don't, it's okay. You have a right to privacy. But can I get your thumb? Can you just click on that thumb, silent watchers? Click on that thumb for me. I need your thumb. I don't have to see the thumb. I don't have to see you, but I need to see the thumb. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. So, saying that we're not okay, we have to take some responsibilities too in making ourselves okay. The things that we can avoid that creates stressors in our life, let's avoid it so we can keep a smile on our face. We can keep, because guys, let me tell you, this has been a rough summer for me, financially and emotionally. A rough summer for me. And I am so glad I started to say before, if I knew then what I know now, where money is concerned, I'd be a millionaire. The way I look at money now is different from the way I looked at it in my early years. And maturity is wisdom. So I probably wouldn't have known that had I not been at this age. But I tell you, I look at myself now and I go, what? You can do this now? Cutting back, guys, to decrease the stresses in your life, especially the financial stress. Cut back. The only thing you can't cut back in life is your children. However, for those of us who fast food is our go-to, relook at that. I spoke about that in another episode earlier on about budgeting. Relook at allowing the children to have pizza or fast food when you're tired. It's better to steam some rice and open a can of sardine, or those of us who can get, some call it bully beef, some call it corned beef. It's so much easier for us to do that. I know. I know lending money is like a loaded gun to your head. I don't support that at all. But it's easier in cutting back to de-stress, because it's all about de-stressing. And I don't know, this has to be the Holy Spirit why I'm doing this today. Because, guys, the holiday season, today is the beginning of the holiday season. And I'm telling you, there's so much single parent out here that put so much stress on themselves to buy the children everything that is in the store for the holidays. Look at your finances from now, guys. Look at your finances from now. And start preparing the children. Last year you got 5 trucks and 44 iPads. Let the children know. This year, rent has gone up, sometimes age appropriate. We have to let our I'm not saying to stress the children now, but we have to sometimes give the kids a peek into our finances. You know, I used to sit down with my children. When I got divorced, I sat down with my children at the dinner table. And I said, this is what mommy makes. This is what the rent is. This is what, and I make it in a way that I hope it didn't stress them. Talking to them now, they might say it did. But I let them know that when mommy say that she can't afford it right now, it's because she can't. And sometimes, as single parents, we really need to take the stress off ourselves in trying to buy everything that's in the store for the child. Tell them, this year the rent went up or the mortgage went up. And guys, mommy can't afford to buy but one item for you this year. And let me tell you something, children are very adaptable except if they're spoiled. It's true, Marlon. Single parents, put away the guilt. Put away the guilt of feeling that their dad is gone or the mom is gone. If you have an environment that is peaceful and happy, they're not going to get everything they want, but they will always get everything they need because we're parents, and that's paramount. I said hi, Sharon. You didn't hear me? As you walked in, I said hi and greeted you. Sorry. You know, I'm always glad when you guys are here, so I try to greet everyone, even those that are silent watchers. Greetings, greetings. Thanks for coming on. So, single parents, whether you're male or female, this is the 1st of October. This is the beginning of the holiday season, right back until February 4th and beyond. Okay, Giselle. Do not stress yourself to give the kids everything that is in the store. Start to create discipline and boundaries in your home to decrease your stress. The child, you know, there's this saying I hear Jamaicans say it, and I don't know if other West Indian countries says it, and those of you who are here from Trinidad and other West Barbados and Haiti and other West Indian countries, share with me in the chat. This thing about I have to give my child everything I did not have in my life. Are you serious? No wonder we are running into problems. No wonder we are owing our rent and our car payments. Are you kidding me? Oh, okay, Sharon. Are you kidding me? There are things that I didn't get in my life, and I know my parents purposefully didn't give it to me because they didn't think I need it. So this thing that West Indian have about I have to give my child everything I didn't have. Really? Really? What are you teaching the child? What are you teaching the child? Those children grow up with no gratitude. Granted, gratitude seems as if it's gone through the window lately. But we have to try our best to instill gratitude in them, patience in them. You go to the store and you see a toy and you want it now when you went for bread. Sharon, you have to think of yourself, sweetheart, to decrease the stress. You can't give everything you have. I'm a giver too. But I'm looking at the abundance I have. There are times when I'll give out sacrificial giving. Yes, if somebody sees me and they said, I have nothing to wear and I have on a shoe, I'll take it off and give to them. Or if they say I need to catch the bus and all I have is that, I'll give it to them. But God also said we must be wise. I'm not going to give away everything and live in destitution. I know, right? Right, Giselle? I mean, and I hear it so much. I'm going to give everything I didn't have when I was growing up. Are you kidding? Yes. And givers find it hard not to give. Because I was there where I gave so much until I became the needy person. No, you don't ask God to make you hard. What you ask God for is to allow you to think and to pause. Because let me tell you something about givers. Givers attract entitlers. What do I mean by entitlers? People that as soon as they need something, they figure, oh, she's always giving, so let me go to her instead of trying. Marlon, you're a mess. Marlon says he couldn't give his kids everything he didn't have because he had nothing growing up. You know, givers attract entitlers. People that think as soon as they need 10 cents, they have 90 cents, and they need 10 cents. They don't try a way to get the 10 cent. Oh, I'm going to go to Jack because Jack is always giving. Jack is always giving. And then, pardon me, don't mean to offend anyone. That's not my nature. But there are those suckers too. They will suck you dry. You help them this month, a month after they come back to you with another need. We have to have the spirit of discernment. And let me tell you something. Do you know that no is a very, very good ministry? No is a healing ministry. We have to have a time in our life where we say no and we feel good about the no. Or not today. Because I was a yes, ma'am. I say yes to everything. And the minute I stop, the peace that came over me, because I say yes and then I'm stressed. And then I'm being pulled here, being pulled there, being pulled. We have to take responsibility for our peace. Because if your phone is ringing 5 times and 4 times is a need, you can't, you will always walk around angry and unhappy because you're stressed. Marlon, we aren't even going there. We're not even, there's some people, that's a trigger for them, Marlon. There's some people that, especially, I've not experienced it, but I've socialized enough to see it. People that look at people in foreign, I'm not in foreign, I'm still trying to find foreign. And I'm going to ask Marlon and others on here, Sharon and Angela and all that. Y'all please introduce me to foreign because I'm still waiting to find foreign. For people in the West Indies that have people that visit the United States, Canada, Africa, New Zealand, Zimbabwe, Italy, France, Germany, Iceland, Australia. For people that travel and leave loved one in their home countries, whatever countries you're coming from. If you don't be careful, every payday, and this is what this is what I've seen. These are a conversation I've heard from people I move around and the broader community. I have to be sending this. I have to be sending this to Jamaica, and I have to. Somebody came on Facebook once and said they don't want no family member to send them $50 anymore. I don't know if it was a joke, but I was so offended. I said to myself, thank God I don't have a family member that would say that to me. Whether it's here in abroad or it's in my country of birth. I don't have a friend or a family that would say to me, don't give me $50. But when I heard that statement, I said, how presumptuous are you? You don't work in the snow. You don't know what it's like to work 16 hours straight. And I send you $50 and you're going to come on Facebook and talk about don't send it back to me and YouTube. And this is what I'm talking about. When you have situations in your life like that, you will be stressed every day. So you have to set up, but we have to set up boundaries. We have to set up structure that protects our joy and our mental health. Because if we don't change the way we do, business are changing the way they do things. Businesses are changing. You realize in the last 2 years, businesses are cutting back. They used to have one person doing a job, another person doing a similar. Now they combine them. One person is doing everything in most jobs now. They're not hiring the way they used to. So when somebody leaves, they turn the role over to you. Someone shared with me the other day that the amount of work that is coming on her desk, and when she said to her supervisor, this is not a part of what I used to do, she said, life has changed. Someone quit, so I'm sorry, I have to use those who are here because I'm not hiring anyone for that position. So if companies are doing that, what are we doing to the rental space and then the employment space in our head? Because we rent space in our head to people that are not paying rent. We lease spaces to people in our head to people that are not paying rent. When are we going to evict them for peace? When are we going to evict them for sanity? In saying we're not okay, we have to first do our job in getting rid of the things that makes us not okay. I'm not saying for us to isolate. I'm not. But what I'm saying for us to downgrade, minimize. Having 100 people around you that does not serve you, as I said before, makes no sense. Exactly, Marlon. Robots are, you see robots now cleaning the floors. But listen, let's look at this. My supermarket that I frequent, I used to know at least 5 cashier names. When they see me come on the line, hi, I miss you. Did you go to other line or you haven't shopped here in a while? And you know what is happening? You know what is happening? They're filling them with self-serve machine. Even in Costco, we're paying yearly membership. And Costco is, they started out with 1. Now I went there the other day, they have 3. The day they get down to 5 or 6, I'm cutting my membership. Because I did not pay membership to pack my own groceries. I know. So I simply say, use that an experience to say, everybody is downsizing. Everybody is multitasking. What are we doing for our joy and our happiness? Joy comes from God, yes. We create our happiness. Joy comes from knowing God and knowing that we can depend on Him, but we create our happiness. Sometimes we create the pain that we experience in emotional pain by going in avenues that we know are going to create pain. I had that experience this summer twice. And I had to say to myself, when are you going to learn? You don't go in that environment anymore because it does not serve you. It might serve the goal that you have, but it does not serve you to be in that space to fulfill the goal that you have. Yes, Marlon. So in the same way, companies are looking at ways to cope. We have to look at ways to cope. And we have to look around us and see the changes that is happening and create those changes in our life. And we have to be intentional about it. You're not going to walk away and don't talk to everybody. But there's some people that hello is enough and move on. Hi is enough and move on. It doesn't mean you hate them, because again, these little nuances that we use, or these little things that we say, oh, she don't talk to me, so that means she's not a child of God, or that means she hates me. No. It means I am aware of my mental health and what affects me. So therefore, I need to create space with you. And hello is the furthest I will go and bless you and leave you. I have nothing against you. You just don't work for my mental health. So therefore, I have to step back to protect me. Marlon, you're speaking. So what are you doing, Marlon, to decrease your stress? Restaurants are using frozen food because they can't have the volume of employees anymore. Supermarkets are using self-cash. So what are we doing? Where's the self-cash in our life and the frozen food department? Where is the frozen food department and the self-cash in our lives? Those are the questions I'm asking myself, and I'm sharing it with you. It's a new month. It's the beginning of the holiday. Okay, Marlon. It's a new month. It's the beginning of the holiday season. Let's do a inventory of what we did in the past that creates stress. You know the thing that the things that tickles me the most? I go to the supermarket purposefully during the holiday season for entertainment. Every trip I make to Costco during the holiday season, one, I love the samples. I cut back a little now. I'll only take those that are in seal package. I no longer take those that they have out. But I love the sampling. And I go there and I watch the carts. They're laden with toys and things. And I go to the store and they're laden. And then you go back after the holidays and 90% of the lines are returns. And then people are crying by April, March, May. They're broke because the holiday just went and they overspent. So it's okay to say we're not okay and to fix. Go back and look at the things that we have done that create stresses in our life. Not everything is our fault, but there's some things that we can take responsibility for and change. And I'm speaking to myself too. Because I plan. I don't come on a lot because I'm very intentional about it. I put up a lot of videos, and thank you guys. Thanks for the likes on the videos and the support on the videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. But guys, when I come live is to share, because I can't just sit and talk frivolously. I was never that person. My time has to be meaningful. And when I come up, when I hit something in my life that give me a wow moment, that's why I come to share and to remind you. Because I know you know these things, because I know them too before I heard the reinforcement. But the reinforcement helps me to share. And 5 years ago, I told myself to look at the way you spend money. And a friend of mine brought it to my attention too. Very, very dear friend. Look at the way you spend money over the years. And see if that is something that is you can continue. Is it sustainable for the rest of your life? And if it's not sustainable, please change it. That's what my friend said to me. Please change it. And the way I looked at money in the last 5 years has decreased my financial stress. Yes, there are times when I'm in need, yes. And I've gotten to the place now where my wants are not important. My needs, gas, food. And I know a lot of us on here, male and female, will agree. We might not have what we want to eat Monday, but there's something in the cupboard that we can use. If we run out, those that use chicken and beef and that, if we run out of oxtail and chicken and beef for my West Indians, and if we run out of steak and lobster and shrimp for my West Indians and my Americans and all my viewers, if we run out of those things, we open the refrigerator, there's something in there we can eat. So I'm not going to stress if I don't have chicken and steak and all these things, because there's beans in the refrigerator and there's some rice and there's some potatoes somewhere. Our house is never empty. Never. We can't truly say we are hungry because there's something in the pantry. It's not what we want. Or if our friends come through the door, we don't want to have mackerel and white rice. We don't want to, but girl, guys, as I said, that's the nicest thing. We don't get mackerel here a lot. Ingrid, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for visiting, Ingrid. Thanks for visiting. I appreciate your presence. So if we want to be truly, truly, truly honest, not all of us pantries are empty. I've seen people, because I watch the platforms, and I've seen people that are truly hungry when they show these programs. You go in their house, what did you have? I have a crackers and some tea. I don't think we find that a lot. It's mostly with elderlies that are living in areas that are offbeat and the family is not. The family is not supportive. But I'm talking about, we are working, that we can find something in the house to eat. Some pasta with some pasta sauce and that little piece of butter that left over, that little olive oil that left over. So, decreasing the stress, we have to take some responsibilities. We have to take some responsibility in decreasing stress in our life. And talking about, it's okay to talk about it while we're doing the work. Doing the work to decrease it. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I have some stuff that are painful. It's okay to say you're not okay. I'm going through a rough time. I'm not managing my money well. So I can't pay my bills. Those are things we can change. And then the other stressors that we can't change, like stuff that is going on in our family at large, sickness. Those are stuff we can't change, but we have to develop a supportive method. Checking in on the person, seeing how they're doing. But the things that we can change them. Change them. And I've said before, exercise is a great stress reduction. Talking is another one. Talking to the right people. But turning to the sources, Jay and his nephews, is not a solution. It compounds the problem because you have the spirits and you have the cigarette or the marijuana, and it's a temporary relief. But when that wears off, you still have to deal with it. And this is the reason you have so much people can go from one marijuana joint to another, because they don't allow themselves to feel. From one drink to another, because they don't allow themselves to feel. And believe it or not, a lot of people use sex to deal with stress. From one relationship to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. And the outcome is the same. When the few minutes is over and the person goes through your door, it didn't change. They didn't change anything. It was just a quick moment, 3 minutes of and you're back to the pain. So finding sustainable methods to cope with stress is better. A consistent friend. Now, granted, I'm not here. I'm not here saying you must, every time your friend talk to you, you must have a sad story. We also have to be cognizant of that fact. I saw a friend of mine yesterday and she said, "Hey girl, I haven't heard from you. I need to do better." And I said, "I didn't call you because I went through some stuff this week. The last time I talked to you, I had to talk to you about the difficulties I had at that moment. And here's another one, and I didn't call you. You came on my mind. I prayed for you, but I didn't call you because I didn't want to share this one because there's so much going on. When you have a large family, things just happen. Sometimes it seems like it's one after the other. One of my family have to remind me that, hey, it's not one person this is going through. It's the family. Our family is large. So if this sister has an emergency, and then another month, it doesn't mean that the family is constantly in problems. It just means that it changes. Today is mine, tomorrow is yours, it's the next person. So I said to her, I didn't call you because I didn't want to stress you this week. Because a couple of weeks ago, I was going through some stuff and I had to call you. And she said, don't feel like that. But we have to think about our friends, that we have to have some laughing moments. My one friend who I share everything with, I'm also conscious of that fact too. That every time she call a door, sometimes she call and say, "Girl, I don't want to talk to you because it's been." And she's like, "Child, please." That's why I call you, because it's just a rough day for me. You know, so we have to balance how much we give them because they also have their own problems, and not because they don't share with you. They have somebody else sharing with you. What I found out is your best friend, you might not be their best friend, and you have to be okay with it. You and the people who say they have multiple best friends, something wrong with you. I got a glass of water to give you. You can't have multiple best friends. You know? And the stuff that I tell Jesus, ain't no friend knowing about that. There's stuff that is just between me, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Nobody else. And then there's stuff that I share. And I have to be cognizant of the fact that every time I talk to my friends, it shouldn't be a heartache or a heartbreak. We should be able to laugh. We should be able to laugh sometimes. Because sometimes when you call them, and guys, I'm real. I'm real. And I'm not saying this to offend anyone. But sometimes when you call them and they don't answer, they look at the phone and say, "She again? What now?" And they pass by the phone. They're humans. They're humans. They're humans. So we have to learn to take care of ourselves. And those of us that believe in God, surrender. Okay, Sharon. Surrender the things that we can surrender to God. And then give the things that we can give to our friends. But we can't give them everything. Because believe me, I don't care how much you are their friends. And even if my friend is listening now, she won't be offended. Because I don't care how long you're friends, they're not telling you everything. They're not. They're not. So we have to protect ourselves. While saying we're not okay, we have to realize that our friends might have periods in their life that they're not okay. And if they're not telling you, they're telling someone else. Because I always bullet my girlfriend. I always say, how come nothing is wrong in your life? So I'm going to stop telling you about my problems. I always tell her that. I always tell her that. You okay? Yes. You sure you're okay? Yes. Because everything is going right in your life, so I don't want to disrupt you with mine. So I give that one to God. We have to take ownership of the things that we can change in our lives to create a better space for us mentally. And I keep saying mentally because that's what it is. Every last one of us is suffering from something mentally. And the more perfect you think you are, is the more you're suffering mentally. May is not only the month for us to think about our well-being. We should be thinking about it every time something comes up in our life that pulls us to a place that we don't like. When we look back on it, we go, no, I shouldn't allow this to go there. And then we turn around and work on it. And the things that we cannot work on by ourselves, we find somebody to share it with so we can laugh. Laughing is so therapeutic and it makes you younger. We don't have to be doubting Thomas every day people see us. And worse, calling ourselves child of God. I don't care what denomination you belong to. Calling yourself a child of God and walking around like somebody slap you in the dark. It doesn't encourage people. It doesn't encourage people. It doesn't. Having your hat so tight on your head that you can't smile. Because if you take off your hat, you're sinning. Stop it. Stop it. Having your dress so long that it's drawing every dirt off the ground into your space. When we present ourselves as children of God, we have to be welcoming. We are so tight, as my pastor said yesterday. We are so stiff and so tight because we're children of God. That people don't want to be a part of the God that we are calling upon. They don't want to be a part of it. We're the biggest hindrance. And then there are those that come out with the blatant sin. Sin is sin across the board. But when you're going to identify something that you know is wrong, and then you blow up balloons and have a marching band to celebrate it, go sit down somewhere. Go and sit somewhere. The things that you struggle with the most that are offensive to your Christian walk, keep it between you and God. You don't come out and celebrate it. And talk about God knows. And he understands. Understands that you're calling his name in vain. Understands that you're calling his name in vain. Understands that you take him for Santa Claus. Where you think you can bring anything and put under the tree. Be consistent. And the things that we are struggling with that will be offensive to someone else or will hinder them, we keep it between him and God. Why am I preaching? We keep it between us and Sharon is your fault. Ingrid is your fault. There are things in our life that create stresses on us. And when it stresses us out so bad, we bring it to the public. We bring it to the public. We're doing something that we know within our soul it is wrong. And we come up and we dress it up to either create a circus or a Christmas celebration. And then there are those that in order to be a part of your circle, they agree with you. There are those that in order to maintain your circle, they agree with you. Those people you don't need in your life. Because there are certain things in our life, and people be real. There are certain things, the Bible have a thing that it says the thorn in your flesh. You know what that means? The thing that you're working on the most. That is your struggle. That is the thing that you can't get rid of. And we should try everything in our power to get rid of it, but it's still a thorn. Until we become honest with ourselves, until we become honest with ourselves and challenge God to take that thing out of our way, keep it between you and him. I don't want to hear it. Keep it between you and him. Keep it between you and him. Because we have this thing to say, God understands. If you don't understand, then you're going to turn it over and say, God understand. God understand what? That you won't come clean with yourself and surrender to God. I'm preaching to me, There was a certain situation in my life that makes me uncomfortable, and I still continue to do it. And one day, I just got up and said, what example am I to people if they found out about this? How would it make my neighbor feel seeing me coming out, going to church every week and know that this situation? And I just told myself, God, it's me and you in this one because I'm done. Andrea, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for those who are watching and not making themselves known, silent watchers. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for coming on, Andrea. We're talking about, is it okay to say we're not okay? And what is our responsibility in changing the things in our life that keep us in a position of not being okay? So that's what we're talking about, Andrea. And where we are in the conversation is owning up to the things that are challenges in our life. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Where we are, Angela, is opening up to the things that are in our life that we can change and stop making excuses. Oh, I'm sorry, Sharon. Is it raining there? I'm so sorry. Right now, it depends on your provider. A lot of providers are having problems. I'm sorry, but when you chip out and you can chip back in, I appreciate it. One of the things in de-stressing I've found out is owning up to the things that I can change and making an intentional effort to change them and to looking beyond me. As a speaker said yesterday, when we look that this is about God and not us, it tends to make change easier because we turn it over so that his name will be glorified. So that I'm not walking an hypocritical walk every day of my life. Oh, I see. Okay. We had that issue here, and it was a mess. But once it's solved, we have no minimal issues, weather issues. So I hope they straighten that out soon. So Andrea, what are the things that we can change in our life? We talked about budgeting so that our life become easier. We talk about looking at the things that we can change. If we have to stop eating out for 1 month to make our budget better, stop borrowing and not paying back. So we're dealing with real life issues that creates stress, Andrea. If you borrow money from someone and you know you have no means if you're going to borrow money and you know you have no means of paying it back, don't do that. Ask the person, I have a bill for $100 and I can't afford it. Can you give me $10? It's better to ask than to borrow and don't give back. Because Andrea was saying it breaks relationship. It breaks relationship. So we're looking at areas in our life that it's okay to say we're not okay, but also to be intentional in changing the things that we can change. Using things to mask our pain. We talked about sex, alcohol, being a leech. Just expect family and friends to always help you and you're not trying hard enough. Looking at people and deciding that they have it. So because they have it, I have to find a way to get it from them. For those of us who are in different countries of the world and have family members in our home country, the stress of when the phone rings is wah, 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 like an ambulance in our life. How can we decrease that kindly? So those are the areas we have looked at. Using things to substitute for pain instead of talking about it because we think we can't trust anyone. But the bigger picture here is living our life with smiles. Especially for those of us who are calling, saying that we are followers of Christ. Walking around, if your light goes off every month and your neighbor's goes off every month, how do you encourage your neighbor? How do you encourage your neighbor? This is something from I had my own apartment. I don't know how I came up with that, but I always say, Lord, don't let my light cut off. Don't let me owe rent, God. Because I want to be an encouragement to someone that the God that I serve provides. So if my light is cut off every month with yours, if every month I have no gas, if every month I cannot pay my car payment, how am I encouraging you? How am I encouraging you? And if there's somebody that doesn't believe what I believe religiously, then I cut myself off from them. So how am I going to make a difference if because I don't agree with you, I cut you out of my life? Or I don't want anything to do with you? I can be in the middle of a dance and the music don't move me. Don't move me. There's so many things in life that create stress in our life. But if our goal is to keep a smile on our face so we can make a difference for someone, when our pain comes and we can share it with someone, then the smile goes back on to share with someone else. Using sex, as I said before, and alcohol and drugs, that's an escape. Dealing is better. Dealing is better. Being honest with yourself is better. advertising that the Lord understand and the Lord will forgive me. And I don't know if it's me alone, but have you all noticed that you cannot correct anyone anymore? Because as you correct them, you're judging them. If you give me a book to read and I read it, and I tell you what I got from the book, why am I judging you? You put it out there and I read it. So why am I judging you because I speak? You know, the pastor said something yesterday. I tell you, his sermons will stay with me for a very long time because they have ignited the desire to continue to be a better person in me. He said, because you sit quietly and don't praise, and I stand up and praise, don't mean I'm wrong, you know. But the question he want to ask is, what moves you? You come every week and you sit and you sit and you listen and you sit. All you're there to do is observe. What moves you? Because we're not saying for you to do like the person next to you. We're saying is if it's even a little clap on the finger, nothing moves you. And it can seem sometimes that we justify our behaviors by saying God understands and God knows. And we use that blanket not to let us create avenue of changes, it seems. So I'll encourage you guys, as I encourage myself, to do not go in avenues. As someone said in the chat, it's better to give than lend, because lending creates so much stress. Giving creates joy. Because I personally do not lend money. If I cannot lose it, I do not give it. I do not lend it. So because I can't afford to lose it, I'm not going to give it. I'm not going to lend it, sorry. If I cannot lose it, I do not lend it. That's what I mean to say. If you're in need and you come to me, I will find every way to help you. But I will not lend. I will find every means of helping you, but I will not lend you. So, smiles on our faces, reduce wrinkles, smile in our heart, reduce stress, and agreeing with people just to be a part of their group, it doesn't benefit you. In the long run, it hurts you more than it benefits you. We talk about this a lot on social media, especially on YouTube content providers. We talk about it a lot. If I was here cussing and carrying on, I would have 1 million people on here. So as content providers, we have to decide, are we going to go for the views with the cussing and the carrying on? Or are we just going to go to reach someone, if it's even one person? Because if I was here with drama, everybody would be here. It's addictive. It's addictive. You want the views. I'm not going to lie. I want the views. I ask you all. I want the likes. I want your love. I want your interaction. And a part of the interaction is to get the likes and get the shares. But at what cost? At what cost? At what cost? Because someone has to be willing to make the difference and bear the consequences that comes with it. Someone has to be willing to bear, because I have this saying, I am not a person that carry dead bodies behind me. Meaning, you just drag a crowd because. You just carry people on the bandwagon because it gets you where you want to go. At what cost, though? At what cost? And when you can't speak your mind, you can't call you can't call a spade because you're attacked. And and this is all about talking about the things that bothers us. You can't do that in public anymore. And I have watched, because as a content provider, you want to support the people that are doing things that comes close to some of your belief system, and people that are giving. How can you not watch them? That are creating change, serious change. I talk about Donna Go, Planka Queen, 99 Boss, teaching you my cooking skills. She's all of that and then some. Is she perfect? No. But the things that she's able to do, we can gain something from it. We can learn. We can learn. I have been a humanitarian all my life. I'm a social worker. That's what we do. We give. But then in my personal life, I have been feeding the homeless for years. And 2 to 3 years ago, before we had the big disappointment, I call it, someone said to me, why don't you share it on YouTube? So I went on YouTube and shared it. And when I watched, I started watching Donna Go. I want to say she was at ATL. And Sundays she used to come out and cook. And I love to cook. So she caught my eye. And I started watching that. And then for those who follows her, the first pudding she gave away, I was live on that video. I was at work and I don't know how it popped up on my screen. Oh, because I followed her on ATL. And when I watched how that woman turned a pudding into an empire, and when I watched how she gave back, and then when I heard her start to talk about the pain of feeling alone, of everything she says is turning to a negative stuff, I said, that must be a terrible place to be. And then I watched the relationship with she and Miss Richie, the Planka granny, and saw how she found solace in that lady, comfort in that lady. I said, thank you, Jesus, because this woman needs somebody that she can feel safe with. And I watch her passing and how she handles it. And then this yellow bus thing. So there's moments, there's goodness in this world. There's things to smile about. So we don't have to walk around always tense and puffed up and mean, because there's things to see, even on YouTube. There's good things to see. There's a lot of bad. There's a lot of negative stuff, but there's also good things. and getting involved with things that create stress. We can avoid them by choosing what we want to look at, because YouTube and Facebook is messy. My prayer every day is, Lord, help me not to be that gullible, that I be a part of that. But there are things I just named. There's other programs. There's so much programs on there. There's so much things on YouTube that are positive in the content providing world, that are not all negative. Keeping the children in school, I forgot that platform name. That platform is one that I've followed from its inception, from she used to teach its children on our patio. I'm saying this to say that there's not all negative things to watch. And that there's not all negative content providers out there. Prince All has another one that is very positive. There's not all negative on YouTube, but the negativity shows up more than anything else. So are you going to cramp your mind with those things to create added stress? I'm naming all of this to say that we don't have to always be fed with negativity. We can choose what we want to look at, to watch, how we live our life. Somebody said, we were chit-chatting a little bit about it, that there's more single women in the world now than ever. And we're saying, and we're okay. Yes, Andrea, too much. But the ones that are trying to stay focused, you don't hear about them. No, Dana goal is larger than life. Everybody knows that. And when you get that large, you're going to find some negativity. You're going. I'm talking about areas that every day is just argument and fighting, and that's what I'm talking about. Avoiding those things. When you get a platform that is so large, like Dana Goes and Andre Stevens, you're going to find elements of negativity because they're large and they don't come on every day with negative stuff. So, but it seems as if Facebook is bombarded now with so much negativity. And what I'm saying is, those stuff affect your mood. They affect your mood. Those stuff affect your mood. So the areas that we can decrease in our life, we decrease them to keep our smile from our heart. Because there's some people that smile and the pain behind that. I'm one of them. I am one of them. You cannot look on my appearance and know that I'm not doing well. I have to tell you. I have to tell you that I'm not doing well. Because I have developed a coping mechanism throughout my life. That my appearance, I've worked jobs that now I see people just walking into work like they just roll out of bed. I have worked jobs that you could never come on the floor and you're not properly dressed. Nobody would say anything to you, but you would feel so bad because everybody's at their best around you. And I tell you something, it builds morale, it builds a certain amount of comfort on the job. It decreased my stress. My best work years is behind me. When I worked as a case manager, and we were close to the task force that pick up mentally ill people at home. They'll get a call that people are not, the family member call, this family is acting up, and they are diagnosed mentally ill. 95% of them. We get calls for new onsets also. And when we go to the house and we are so nicely dressed, in the middle of all of that turmoil, the person would just calm down and say, I love your outfit. It was like a soother for them. And my director always say, if we are the last person they see, it must be a positiveness from the way you're dressed. Our director was always like that. And the supervisor followed through. They're not telling you that you have to go out there and buy $1 million suit. What they're saying is, whatever you put on must lift our clients before they hear your voice. So I've done that all my life. And working in New York, everybody that work in New York, whether you're a nursing assistant, a HHA, a PhD, a medical doctor, whatever you are, sanitation workers in New York, their uniform clean and they're working on a garbage truck. So when you grow up in that environment, everywhere you go, you present well. I'm going to the store and I have to look good. So people like me, you look at and you think that everything is okay. You think that, oh my God, everything is going fine for her. No. I will not show you my pain. I will not show you my pain. If you're going to look at me and decide that I'm hurting or I'm in a financial need, I'll never get help. Never. I have to tell you, I'm not doing well at all. And most of the time when people ask me, how are you? They go, oh, Cho, you're okay. Have you guys ever experienced that? Because of how you dress or the car you drive, even if your car tire was flat yesterday, you went and found somewhere to get that tire pump up. And even if you have to grab a basin of water yourself and wash your car is going to be clean. So people like us, people think we have everything okay and we don't hurt unless we speak. Unless we speak. Because when people say, how are you? They're gone. So finding the things that we watch, that we do to decrease the stress in our life, and finding that person that you can tell that you're hurting. I'm blessed. I have a good circle of genuine, authentic people in my life. It's not large. It's not large. They're mixed with family members and friends that I've had for 20, 30, 38 years. Those are the type of people I have in my life. And it took me years to get here. Because I used to have the crowd and still felt lonely. So decreasing the things in your life that create stress and minimizing your friendship group benefits you better. Volunteering is another thing. If you have never volunteered, try it for 1 hour a month. Oh my gosh. Looking at someone's needs make you forget about your own. It makes you find a homeless shelter, guys. Volunteer in areas of your life that you never think you could. And it brings the best reward. If you belong to a church, find their prison ministry. Find their homeless ministry. Find a food pantry in your area and volunteer even 1 day a month. I tell you what it does for me. What it does for me. Because I'm sharing the things that I'm using to decrease my stress. I'm sharing the things I'm using to grow for a better person. Volunteering, giving of your time. You know, when Sunday is the only day you have off, and if you go to church on Sabbath, and Sunday is the only day. If you go to church on Sunday and Saturday is your market day, is your day to wash for the kids because you have to go to church on Sunday, take half an hour out of that day and volunteer and watch the reward. Watch the reward. Taking off the center of yourself and coming outside of yourself to give of yourself to someone else. It's the best. Fine, I don't know if you have shower areas in your community, organization, churches that just give showers, and volunteer to be that person that hand them the towel. I'm telling you, show your kids that. Show your kids that area of your life creates such joy and put a smile. So you're not walking around like Humpty Dumpty that fell off the wall and he's so broken that he can't get back up and nobody will put him back together again. Find something tangible to do beside writing a check. That's easy. You know, there are always those people that I can depend on that will write me a check for my program. Anything I'm doing. Right now, let me put this in while I'm talking. Right now, and I'm about to come on my platform and ask you guys to help. Right now, I am with a group in my church, the Young People's Group, the Pathfinders. There's any Adventists here or any non-Adventists who have heard about the Pathfinders. We just did a huge camp in Jamaica. Thank you, Sharon. I just love when you come back. Thank you. When they get kicked out, just keep trying until you get back. I appreciate you. As I was saying, for those of you who are affiliated with the Adventist Church or know of the Adventist Church, there's a lot of positiveness about us. We are not perfect. No, we are not. Because if we were perfect, God wouldn't use us. Because he used the broken. Lift them up so they can lift up others that are broken. We are not perfect. But the services that we provide, building homes for needy people, there's not an Adventist church that you can walk in. And if there's one, you need to let me know because I will get in touch with the leadership. That you can walk into an Adventist church any day they're open. There's some churches, like some churches here are open Monday through Friday 9 to 5. Others are just open 2 days a week. There's not an Adventist church that you cannot work. And as I said, if you find one that does not serve you when you're in need, let me know. I will reach out to them. That you cannot walk in and ask for help. Help if you're broken and you need someone to talk to. Help if you need to get married and you can't afford to have a big wedding and you don't want to go to a courthouse. You can walk into any Adventist church and ask them to marry you. You can walk into any Adventist church and ask them to bless your baby, and you don't have to be a member of the church. Yes, they have rules and guidelines. But if you're willing to follow the rules and the guidelines, they're willing to serve you. So I'm a child of God that is a member of the Adventist Church. And I am a part of the youth group ministry and the community service ministry, where I go out and I feed the homeless. And every Tuesday, we give boxes of food to those in need. And in need don't mean you have to be homeless. It just means you can't meet your food need. And you come to my church every Tuesday from 11 until 2, and you'll get 4 boxes of food if that's what you need. It goes according to need. If you're a family of 6 or 7, you're going to walk out there with 2 to 3, up to 4 food boxes of your meats and your protein and your vegetables and your carbs. And when I started to do that, after I stopped doing the homeless feeding because of health and safety reasons, I had to stop. And I joined them. Let me tell you the joy I get out of it, of knowing that I just made a difference. Somebody's going home to eat a good meal tonight, because we give good stuff. Eggs and chicken. We don't do meats, but we do chicken. And cereals and whole wheat bread and white bread and any bread you want, we have it, because we're serving the community. It's a community service program. So we don't do porks and lobster and shrimp, but you'll get your chicken there. You'll get your chicken. You'll get your tuna fish. You'll get your turkey. We don't do cheese. Well, we do if we have it. And you'll get your milks and your cereals and your brown rice and your beans. You'll get whatever we have to serve. And since I started to do that, it has helped to decrease my stress. So I'm encouraging you to find something in your community to do. And it helps to decrease your stress while talking to someone about your pain. You see where I'm going? Because we can assist in decreasing our stress, but we might need help to decrease our pain, because the pain brings up anxiety and depression. The stress adds to the pain. So where can we can decrease our stress? Taking our instead of just going in the shower and running out, spend some time in that shower with your water. It's therapy. Let that shower run and use your Dove or whatever you use to wash with, and you just stay in the moment. Just don't go in and get out. If the child is crying, call somebody to attend the child and you stay in that shower if you're a single parent. Or even if you're a coupled parent, you need some time by yourself to decrease your stress. Come on, people, like up the like. Come on, like up the like. Those who are watching and not interfacing with me, like up the like, guys. Like up the channel, guys. Give me some like. Find areas in your life that you can decrease your stress. And do things that let me tell you, taking a bubble bath. Taking a bubble bath in times when I'm stressed, like now when my family is going through so much with illness. And I'm so far. And every time I have to go to a family, I have to jump on a plane, and plane ticket is not cheap. So I have to find ways to cope, knowing that they're there going through so much. And I can't jump on a plane right now. I have to find ways to deal with that stress. And bubble bath, let me tell you all something. And go on the channel. For those of you who have not visited my channel, go take a look. I have some shorts that show you things that I get on a budget, because I'm telling you, I'm on this budget thing. Guys, I don't buy nothing full price. Nothing, not even in the Gucci store. If I go in the Gucci store and there's not a clearance, I'm walking out. Thank God I don't need to shop. I don't need to shop for clothes and things. Food, gas. Thank God, it's a blessing that if I'm going to a wedding tomorrow morning, all I have to do is go in the back of the closet and just ask the tummy to shrink. Just ask it to me I see if I can find a body minimizer to put that dress on. So thank God I don't do shopping like that anymore because I have things that last for years. But for those of us who have to shop, the clearance corner is the best place to shop right now. And on the channel, I'm at a 90% sale the other day in Fry's. Fry's have a section that sells sportswear and jeans and these things and baby clothes. I saw good children clothes in there. I said to myself, I wish I had the funds to buy about $100 of them to give away. Hit the clear. This is the time. I don't know for a lot of states, but in Arizona, this is the time to shop. If you have the funds. If you don't have it, don't go shop. Don't use your rent to shop. The 90% and the 65% sale, I think Arizona is the only state that have this type of sale. Arizona sale is like no other sale because we don't have winter. And we have such a hot summer that all the shorts and the tank tops and the linen clothes, everything is going for pennies right now. And even with that, as a content provider, I walk in those stores, I do the video for content, and I don't spend $1 because I don't need anything. And I have disciplined myself that if I don't need it, I do not buy it. And I check the back of my closet first to see if there's something in there I can wear. And so far, I don't need to shop for God knows when. Unless I gain 200 pounds, I don't need to shop. That says a lot about how I used to shop, right, guys? Because I have clothes in my closet that are size 16 when I was shopping so much 10 years ago. I see them and I go, oh my God, from $250 and there's 90% off, I'm getting it. And I put it in the closet. And here's what I tell myself when I used to shop like that. I told myself that I'll find somebody that needs it. Now I am the need because I'm no longer size 8 or a size 10. I can fit into a 14. So they're back there. Their dress is back there with the tags on it. I don't remember when I bought them. But they can fit me now. I'm not encouraging you guys to do that. Remember, I'm encouraging you to decrease stress. Not to go shop. I did it then. I don't have to do it now, but if I know now, then if I know then what I know now, that money would be in the bank. But I'm glad they're there. And people see me and think I shop every week. No, they're in my closet. I have two rooms of closet. So finding a way to decrease your stress is also going in the back of your closet and looking at something that you have not worn to church in 3 months. Oh gosh, now that I say church can be a stressor to those who wants it to be, you know. Because if you don't see yourself as the Joneses in church, you will look at the Joneses. But because I'm the Jones, I don't have to look at anybody. And because my grass is greener, I don't have to look at the next man's grass. So that stress I don't have to deal with. I don't care what you have. I don't care what you have. I don't need it. Because my grass is greener and I am the Browns. Church can be stressful if you do not center your mind on God. You know, one of the negative things that people say about my church is that we are a fashion show. Oh, I can't go to the Adventist church because you all dress too much. We are known as fashionistas, as Adventists. But here's a positive thing. We don't drink. We don't smoke. We don't go to parties. What we do is we go to each other's house for anniversary celebration. We go on trips with each other to celebrate birthdays. But that's just once in a while. And if you work hard, everybody has something that they do. So Adventists, yes, yes, we do. If we're buying one dress, it's a good dress. Yes, we do. If we go in the 99-cent store and they sell a dress and it look good, we're putting down the popcorn. We're putting down the chips. We probably will put down the bag of potato for 99 cents because there's a dress back there and we can wear it to church. Yes, we are dressers. Yes, we are dressers, but we are intentional dressers. We hit the sale rack, the clearance centers, because boy, it's 13th Sabbath and I want a new dress. So yes, because we believe in presenting the best to God. For those of you who are partiers, don't you go out and buy the weave for the Saturday night party or the Friday night party? Don't you go down to Kingston or to England or to Canada or to Norway, Zimbabwe, who else? Guyana, who else are my followers? India. Don't you find the best place to buy that dress to go party? So why? Because I am a child of God, I'm not supposed to buy the best to go into the house of God? Whatever the best is for me. Why am I not supposed to do that? But it's okay for you to go and buy a weave for $6,000 to go to Friday night party, and then you spend $450,000 on the shoes and another $1 million on the dress. So let me dress to go to church now. Can I dress to go to church? Can I get a amen in here? Andrea, Sharon, Angela, Ingrid, is it okay for me to dress good to go to church? Can I get an amen? So don't let that stress you. Thank you, Andrea. Don't let that stop you from going to church if that's where you need to go to decrease your stress. Don't let the way the people dress in the church stop you from going. Don't let it stop you. And if the party dress is the only dress you have, you can come to my church. I don't know about other churches, but my church here in Arizona, you can come to my church in your party dress. And I guarantee you, the next Sabbath you come back, you're going to be okay. So don't let those things stress you out, guys. There's so much things that stress us out now, and life is so hard. We have to decrease. If you feel like walking into a church because you need it that Sunday or that Sabbath, go. Forget about what they're wearing. You wear what you have. Forget about it. And my pastor said something yesterday, and I have to share it with you all. And never look at it that way. You're not going to church because pure hypocrites is there. You're not going to church because pure hypocrites are there. Do you know that when you find the perfect church, you can't fit in there? Because you just finished judge my church that we're hypocrites, so you become a part of the hypocrites. So join us and let God change you. Because the perfect church that you're looking for out there, you cannot go in there. You won't fit in there. So come in the imperfection and make God change you. Have you ever had a perfect employment? See the little things we stress about, create wrinkles in our face, and when we get to 63, can you see me? When you get to 63, you're wrinkled up And at 24, you look like 95 because you just let everything bother you. You let everything stress you out. Come on, guys. Talk about the things that you need to talk about and let go the things that stress you. Let them go. Let them go. Walk around like there is no care in the world. At least once a week. Tell yourself, I'm done. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not going to worry myself about it. And again, those of you that believe in God, turn it over to Jesus. Try it. It works. I had a situation for the last 4 or 5 months. I have a situation in my life that I had to be counting my pennies and praying for my penny to turn into $10. And I got to the point where I said, God, take it over. I don't have it, but I am going to the areas that I can save to go into this area. I'm going to save. 3 weeks I didn't even go food shopping. 3 weeks. So listen, guys, I'm not telling you my business, you know. I'm sharing nuggets that I use in my life to help me, as imperfect as I am, as arrogant as I can get sometime. Me and my Jesus working on it. Life is stressful. The holidays is stressful, and we make them more stressful than they need to be. This is the first of the holiday season, and what I'm saying to you guys is start to decrease the stress. Look at the areas in your life that you can change and change them. Guys, I tell you, for a couple months, you know, because I've been running back and forth on a plane for the last few months. So of course it's going to put me in a place where I have to think. And I did not go shop. I look in the back of my pantry. Because you know, I don't know if there are people like me out there, but I love my pantry to look like Trader Joe's. Nicely packed with everything I need. And sometimes, if you all want to be honest, where is all my honest people here in the chat? Sometimes we don't look in the back of the pantry, you know. We go shopping and we just pour them on. We just tell the kids, for those who have kids, pack this up in the pantry, and we don't go in the back of the pantry and look, you know. And for the last 4 months, I went in the back of the pantry and find organic pasta, organic beans, regular beans, baked beans that I forgot I had back there, and pasta, because I need to pay my bills, and I've been traveling, so money is going. Have you all ever tried baked beans and olive oil and pasta? Yes, buy things that you have back there. 4 to 5 of the same things back there, because you have to go to the supermarket because you have the money. You got pay. And sometimes we get pay and we don't have to go to the supermarket. Sometimes we get pay and we don't have to buy soap powder. Sometimes we get pay and we don't have to go to the hairdresser. We can do the hair ourselves. So we're talking about things that we can cut down in our life to decrease the turmoil that we go through, because life comes with so much turmoils that if we don't be intentional, you know, about decreasing the stress of our life, we walk around and we just annoying to people that see us. And if you do it, start with me. If I do it and you do it and you do it, the circle that you move around, the church that you attend, you'll go in with a smile instead of expecting people to put a smile on your face. You go, I don't know how much people have heard this that goes to church. I have to talk about church a lot because I don't party. So forgive me, those that go to party, I'm not knocking you. Because talk to me about your experience at your party. You can talk to me about it. But I have to talk to you about my life experiences and my life because that's what I live. The life I live is what I have to talk about. So if you're distressed during the week, when you go to church, you don't have to bite off the people's head all in the name of Jesus. There's a lot of Jesus people out here, Have you all met them? There's so much Jesus people out here, you see. But we need to be human to people and then introduce them to Jesus. The humanness in me will show the Jesus that I am. No, the human that I am will show the Jesus in me. But you can't bite off my head this minute and then the next minute you're going to tell me about Jesus. It doesn't work. So if we fix the things. So I was telling you about my pantry. This year, as I said, have been a hard year for my family. Not just for me, for my family. With our dad getting in age and getting sick. And not all, I think my sister, I have a sister and a brother that lives in the same state. And I have two sisters that live in another state. But then I have my brother and myself that live outside of those states. And the siblings that live in the same state, they have our parents because it makes sense. Our parents are older, so they have them. So whenever our parents are sick, we have to support those that have them by going back and forth. And then there's me who wants to be there. Me who wants to be there. And my brothers who wants to be there. And my sisters who wants to be with the ones that the parents are not living with. There's always 4 of us going on a plane somewhere to see mama and dad. And it takes a toll, especially on me. I'm the only single one. But I want to be there. I want to support my siblings. And I have to move the finances around. And I am not one that going, what they call it? Rob Peter to pay Paul. No. Peter getting paid and Paul getting paid. I have to shift some things around. So guys, I didn't go food shopping for a while. There was enough stuff in the freezer. Desperate times call for desperate measures, right? So I can't believe I'm here 2 hours. I think this is the first time I've done this. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. For those of you who are silent watchers, I appreciate you. Continue to give me your thumb. For those who are not in the chat, continue to give me a thumb. Those that are in the chat, thanks for both your presence and your thumb. So, guys, during the traveling, I tweet here and I tweet there, and I use my points. Thank God, when you're using points, that means you're traveling a lot, Mirel. That's what somebody told me. I was able to use my points, my travel points. I was able to use my discounts. Thank God, and I travel. I can use some discount points and some travel points, but you can't use the points for everything. I use my supermarket points. I tell you guys, I am a budgeter now. I am a couponer. I don't buy gas unless I can use my points. And I don't use credit cards unless when I use them, I'm getting something from them. So I'm home. Bills got to pay. I went in the refrigerator and I looked. I said, my goodness, I didn't know I had this thing in the freezer. Let's check the date. Oh, I'm still good. Went to the back of the thing. As somebody in the chat says, we go to the supermarket and we buying the same thing. We have rice at home and we still buying rice. And I did not go to the supermarket because that's where I could save. But guess what? I had coupons. I had coupons, and then I had my points at the supermarket that I need to go get my free items. Anybody have that experience? If you spend a certain amount of money, you can get $5 off at your supermarket, because every shop you shop with their app, you get the points. I save my points. I was able to use the points. I went to Walgreens the other day, and I had enough points that worked up to $10. I was able to get soap powder and other stuff that I need without spending cash. I know, I'm still Sharon. This is my first time being on so long. I'm still here, Sharon. Yep, come on in. Because I'm just sharing, the stuff that I use to help me with you guys. Use, if you have credit cards, check and see what items you buy or what travel you do and get. Don't use credit cards unless you can get points. That's my suggestion. I shouldn't say don't. I suggest that you do not use any credit card you have that you're not receiving points from them. Get rid of them. I suggest that you get rid of them. Credit card companies are giving points now. They're even giving. I'm sorry, Sharon. I'm so sorry. I know the Android phones don't give us much trouble. All the iPhone users out there, accept my sympathy. iPhone users are going through a really hard time. Not only you, Sharon, even here. iPhone users are going through such a hard time. The phones are charging less. They lose their charge so quick. I know Samsung is the phone to go. Android phones are not giving any trouble right now. I hear so much people complain that their iPhones, they need to charge them so much more frequent. If they forget their charger, they have no phone. I'm so sorry, guys, that all you iPhone users that are going through such a hard time. Revisit your phone service. Revisit who you want to use to save money and frustration. Here's again. We're talking about decreasing our stress. We're talking about our responsibility of looking into the things we do that create stress. Sharon has been having a hard time with her iPhone. And other iPhone users, Sharon, look into other service providers if you're not in a contract. And going in a contract right now makes no sense with cell phones for me. Look into other service providers to see the best phone that are out there now that serves you. That you don't have to be constantly being interrupted by your Wi-Fi not working, your internet not working, your phone is not charging long enough. All these are ways. Oh, okay, Sharon. All these are ways to decrease stress, guys. That sometimes we don't look at these things because, we have them and we don't look at them. If you're paying service charge for checking accounts, for savings account, look into that, guys. Somebody told me they're paying $24 a month to use their checking account. Another person told me they're paying $12. Are you kidding me? Why would you pay service charge? Okay. I know in different countries, different internet providers are difficult. I empathize with you. But if you are paying, it doesn't matter what country you live in. If you are paying your bank to use them, they need to revisit that. If you're paying to use your debit card, Revisit that. See, these are all the areas we can save and decrease stress. Because if I had to pay for bank, for my savings account and my checking account, I would dig a hole somewhere in my backyard and put a chest back there with a key. It makes no sense to pay a bank to bank with them. It pays no sense to, if you have to use. Yesterday I went somewhere. I went to get a haircut. And the person tells me that there's a $4 charge to use my debit card. And I said, okay, I'll be back. Because this person cuts my hair very well. I don't want my hair to look like a man. I want that soft feminineness. And I've gotten a lot of compliments that people like my haircut because I don't want that masculine look. And he understands. You know what I did? I just drove to the bank and took out my money and went back. And when I went back, he said, I thought you left. I said, no. I went to get cash. And he said, but it's only $4 surcharge to use the card. And you drove all the way. I said, yes. I didn't use a gallon of gas to go there. It was right around the corner. So these are ways that I use that I'm sharing with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the compliment on the hair. I've gotten a lot from you guys. Thank you. There is a lot of ways that I have used in the last year that I'm sharing with you that have saved money. Anything that has a surcharge, I don't use it. I do not do subscriptions that I have to pay for. I do not do anything that I have to pay monthly charge on. Like monthly charge, what was the one I just got rid of? I have to pay a monthly fee for some service or the other. I got rid of that. And again, this is my experience. I'm sharing with you. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm sharing how I cut back on my finances to cut back on my financial stress. I do not pay cable anymore. I cut that out a year ago. Cable bill was $110. I got rid of that. I do YouTube TV now. I uploaded it from my phone. I get the news on time. I get everything on time. Nobody watch television anymore. That much. Most of the people are watching content providers. So cutting back in the areas of your life that you need to cut back on. You know what I cut back on to? And you're going to say, God, you're going left. I used to use a lot of garbage bags. You know, those little baskets that we keep in our bathroom and our bedroom and our office. I used to buy the pack for $9.99. You know what I do now? The supermarket bags. I have saved so much money using those plastic bags for the countries that don't. I know the last time I visited Jamaica, I think we had to buy our bags. Either buy the bags or carry our bags. For the countries who don't use plastics, I know you still have to. You can use the paper bags. I use the supermarket bags now. I use them for all my the little garbage in my bathrooms, little garbage in my office, the one in my guest room, the side of my bed. That's how I cut money back. That's how I cut money back. I only buy things that are on sale. If it's not on sale, it's not coming in here. When Costco have sale on garbage bags, they have good sale on garbage bag and tissue. I stock up. Okay, somebody's saying they appreciate me spending the time and talking about these things because these things are things that they're not attractive for YouTube content providers because they don't bring in the views. So that's why I take the time to share. And again, it was pressed on me in the beginning of the holiday. This is the beginning of the holiday season to share these nuggets. Thank you, Andrea. Appreciate you. Because cutting back at home creates and budget, guys. For those of you who have not visited the channel, I have a channel on budgeting. Guys, budget. You must know where if you spend money on coffee, you should know how much you spend on coffee. And when you don't know where your money is going, it means it's being wasted. You should have a column for a friend of mine taught me this, I told you. You should have a column where every dime you spend go. Because it decreases the financial stress. Because stress has brackets. Stress has columns. So if you could decrease your financial stress, you sleep better at night, because that's one stress gone. Then you decrease the stress of eating out. These are suggestions. I am not here to tell you how to live your life. These are suggestions, things that I've used that have worked. Because I was single, when I first became single, I ate out 6 days a week. The only time I didn't eat out was on my Sabbath, because I thought it was more economical. And the bigger picture is, I was used to cooking for my husband and the children. When he came out of the picture, I was used to cooking for the children. When the children grew up and left home, cooking for myself was hard. Sitting at a dining table and eating by myself, the first 3 years I became an empty nester was so hard. So I used to eat out because I'm a sociable being. I'm a very sociable person. So when I go out to eat, I might sit at a table by myself. But believe me, there's a conversation with the person on my right. There's a conversation with the person on my left. There's a conversation with the person that is sitting in front of me. And I love that type of a stimulation. So eating out for me was, I'm not alone. But then when it hit me that I'm single and there's not a second paycheck coming in or a person to lean on, I had to relook at that. And I said, well, I have a nice dining table, a beautiful one at that. It's about quite 20 years I have this thing. And it looks brand new every day. I have nice wine glasses. I have nice plates. So guess what? I'm going to stop thinking about not eating with anybody and just enjoy my dinner. And once I start doing that, I save that money I was spending to eat out. And if I cook, I'm not cooking today. I'm just going to have a salad because I have leftovers from Friday. I ate at church yesterday, another savings. And guys, for those of you who go to church, having the children eat at church on Sunday or on Sabbath, that's another savings. Because the children get to eat at church with their friends and then they get around to play. And my church, when they serve food, let me tell you something, man, they serve food. So the kids are snacking all evening while we're hanging out with adults. We hang out and chit chat, and the kids are playing with their friends, and they come in and they want a juice, it's there. So that's a savings. That's a complete meal you save off. And I don't know about your church, but my church serves some serious vegetarian food. You get your salads, you get your protein and your carbs. Then you have dessert. Then you have fruits. water, juice for those who drink juice. So it's a, if you have a family of 6 going to church, that's a big savings to eat in your church. And the socialization, the kids get to socialize with their peers. You get to socialize. So that's another way to save. And we're talking about the pantry. I'm suggesting that you revisit your pantry before you go shopping this Friday coming. Revisit your pantry and see if you really need to buy everything you buy every Friday. Do you really need to shop like that? Or do you just need vegetables and fruits and probably bread? And probably cereal. But do you need to go out and buy 10 pounds of rice? And 5 pounds of cornmeal? And 10 bags of pasta? And 1900 cereal? Well, Sharon, I know you're a master at single life. Sharon, you are my strength, whether you know it or not. You're a master of single life. You have it down to a science. So I'm saying, look at every area of your life, guys, to see where you can cut back. Does your children, wherever English language that fits in, do they really need a new pair of shoes every time they go back to school? Do they really? Do you buy the shoes exact size? You don't buy a half size. When my kids were small, I buy them a half size bigger so it can last for the whole school year. Do they need going back to school after the holidays? Because I know a lot of you all after the holidays. Do they really need a new backpack? You see how we can cut back? You see how we can, do you need to buy $1 million worth of snacks? This snack thing in the West Indies, it's not as bad here. They have to have snacks. It's snacks. But I said snacky. They have to have snacks. Last time I was in Jamaica, I stood in the supermarket. This lady's cart, 3/4 of us was snacks. It's snacks. The chips and the this and the that. I didn't see one fruit or vegetable. It's snacks. They got to get $10 million on snacks. Huh? Buy some sugar cane and cut it up and give. They won't eat it. Okay, I'll stop. They only will eat those. But that's because that's how you train them. Cut up some apples. Jamaican apples, I'm not talking about the American apples, Because I was in General Foods. And I saw one American apple for 350 Jamaican dollars. And I said, what in the wildness? Who buy these things? Put some Jamaican apples. Make your own. I know you don't have the time. I know you don't have the time. But when you fry the dumpling, cut up the banana and make banana chips and sprinkle it with salt and put it down for the kids for this. Oh, they're not gonna eat it. Okay. They're not gonna eat it. Okay. They're not gonna eat it because you don't give it to them. If you cut up the plantain chips and press it down, we bite when we go down there. Sorry. Okay. So you're okay. Come back in again when he comes back. So the kid's not going to eat. If you fry plantains at home, we buy it there in the store for so much money. If you fry plantains at home, I know you don't have the time. I know. I know. But just for conversation, if you buy a whole chicken or chicken parts, I like that idea of the chicken parts because you get the legs and the wings. And so if you buy a whole chicken and have your butcher cut it up in frying pieces and you fry that Sunday and fry some plantains and put them down and give the child that for lunch with a fruits, with a fruit, a Jamaican apple. Mango season has passed, but put a mango in the child lunch bag with the fried chicken and the plantains. You're going to tell me the child not going to eat that? And you make some ginger beer. The child not going to eat that. You freeze the ginger beer overnight and you give it to them frozen so they get to school. It's nice and frozen. They're not going to eat that. Okay. So you have to pay bus fare. You have to pay lunch. And I think I heard in some West Indian island and India and Africa and even here in America. I think Americans pack school lunches more than West Indians. And I can't understand it. I spent some time down there and I watched my niece. I can't understand it. Because things are so expensive in the West Indian islands and the continents that if you make the lunch at home and you give it to the child, they're not going to eat it. I guess I would be charged with child abuse because I'm giving you, and if you don't eat it, guess what? You're going fasting. Fasting is good for the soul. It's all about how we, the parents, set the example, you know. Because isn't it easier for you to pack the lunch for the child and the child sit in the class and have the lunch instead of standing on a line waiting? Lunchtime is an hour and they wait 3/4 of an hour to get the basic lunch. And then you're spending thousands of dollars from their lunch. I heard Dana ask a principal the other day, and some people said that it was private. It should have been asked for in public. But I agreed with it. She asked them, how much is it for a child's school lunch? And the principal said she couldn't give the price on YouTube. I found a problem with that. Is it that expensive that you don't want the public to know? So isn't it better for the parents to pack their lunch? Isn't it better for the parent to pack the lunch? Because you have to pay transportation, which is high. Even here in the US, most children here drive to school, or the parents drop them off, or they take the school bus. And we have a lunch program here. Last time I checked, there are those that are sponsored by the government, and then there's a decrease in price for the child that is buying. So anywhere you take it, any country, continent you live in, it's very costly for the child to have school lunch. So isn't it easier to buy the items and pack the lunch for the child? But it's more convenient because you don't have to get up and pack lunch. I get it. I get it. So don't stress over it then. If it's something that you have to do, don't let it become a stressor. You budget for that. You cut back on something and you budget for that. So guys, I spent a long time with you all. This is the longest I've ever been on YouTube. But I enjoy being here with those of you who stayed with me here in the chat. I enjoyed it. Those of you who keep coming in and out, that are watching silently, and those of you who keep coming in and out because you're at work and just peeping in, and those. Okay, so I'm right. Someone says they're here in the States and their children gets the free lunch. because it helps. It helps a lot. And I know for some West Indian island, you have to pay for the school lunch. And then I would hope that the government has a program that is able to help those that can't afford the lunches. To help those, I know for Jamaica, I heard about PATH from listening on other channels that program assists. Yes, it's minimal, but it's still an assistance. They assist them to get lunches, and in some cases, they also allow them to go to school without the tuition. I applaud that. I applaud that, and I must applaud all the platform holders out there. Help the children stay in school. I know her focus is to pay the lunch for the children so they can go to school. I know that teaching you my cooking skill, she has assisted so much in helping children to stay in school. I know that, um, gosh, Prince Hall, his ministry. So, all platform holders out there who are assisting in helping children to stay in school by supporting them through lunch programs, keep it up. Keep it up, guys. Keep it up. All the platforms that support education, keep it up. Someone sent me a text and asked me, they're not accusing me. They're saying I have not, hold on, let me see it. They said I have not seen you supporting any school programs. Oh, I have not seen you supporting any school programs in Jamaica, and you sound like you are Jamaicans. No, my platform has not supported any school programs in Jamaica openly. There is a school in Otrius that I have supported privately, and I have continued to have an open relationship with that principal. I am waiting on her because I'm supposed to do a project there next month, and I've been waiting on her now for about 3 months. The communication is not consistent because she's very busy, but she knows that every November is my goal to do something in Jamaica, and I choose to do it in the area that I'm from. Well, I wasn't born there, but I was raised in Otrius. I choose to do it in that area because I have no connection with anyone in St. Mary where I was born. And I choose to do it in Otrius for this school because I know the principal for years. We have had a relationship before I became a content provider. So I hope that will come to fruition this year. Last year it was a success. I did not make it public because, as I said, I've been doing humanitarian work before I came on YouTube. Most of it is privately. I don't know if she wants to go public. I will ask her if the next task I do for the school to benefit the children. She has between 30, I want to say between 10 and 20 children, if not more, in that school. And I have partnered with her, and we have done some wonderful work for the children that attends her school. It's the Grasshopper Nursery. The Grasshopper Nursery School. I don't have the correct name, but I'll post it on my channel. That's the school that I've been working with the principal for the last year. This would have been my second year with her. and I'm waiting for her feedback for me to do the next project at that school. So yes, I have assisted um, the education of children in Jamaica. I've just not made it public because, as you know, or would have known, that I'm only on YouTube, I think it's 8 months, 6 or 8 months. So everything I've done have been privately done. On Facebook, I was on for a year feeding the homeless here in Phoenix. Again, because of safety, I decided to pull away from it because, pardon me, I fed up to 250 people a month by myself. I used to do that. And it had become a little bit for me alone to do. I intend to rebirth that program. I don't have a date, but I intend to go back out there. There were some legal issues, because here in my state, you can't just go out and feed the homeless because of the garbage that is left. The container that I give them the food in, the bottles of water that I give them, they will drink the water, eat the food, and throw the containers on the street. So then there's a public nuisance law here. And quite a few police officers had addressed me about littering. Littering is against the law in public space. So that's why I had to pull back. But for the person who asked, yes, I have been involved as a content provider. I have been involved in giving back because I know the individual that watches the channel and individuals that support the channel, they want to know that we are, as content providers, we're not just gaining. I have not gained anything from YouTube yet, but also viewers love to know that we're giving back. And I volunteer in my community food bank. I volunteer there. I used to do twice a week. It's now only serving people once a week. All that is done in private. I think I have a couple of videos showing my volunteer work, my pamper drive. I do a pamper drive for kids that have parents that cannot afford pampers. And you guys have, some of you here have supported that drive. The last one I did, I was able to provide 375 pampers were given away. We gave them in batches of 6 and 12. So I have done community work for those who didn't know and those that asked. Yes, Sharon. Persons have asked me to go public with my work. This is something I'm thinking about doing. This is something I've been doing it for years, as I said, privately. I've just gotten on YouTube in the last 6 months. It's something I'm thinking about doing publicly. And I did one. If you go on my channel, you'll see where I went camping with my church group and the youngsters. We're about to take them camping again. I am looking to raise $20,000 to assist. The camp is about $60,000 to take all the children, expense, the campsite, the tent, transportation, food, housing. So that one, I am going to come to you guys and ask for your assistance. I'm not ready to go public with it yet, but I'm planning to do a GoFundMe, and I'm also planning to come on my YouTube with it. It's not until next year, so I don't want to start the fundraising yet. I generally start my fundraising close to the time that it's going to happen. because I'm cognizant of the fact that people needs to know where their money is going, and I don't want to collect money and hold them. I have been collecting privately. My neighbors have been donated privately, and I've been handing the money over to the project manager. And we have been collecting bottles. Last week I took 3 huge garbage bags because my neighbors, I shared it with them that I'm collecting bottles to take the kids on camping. So as soon as I get close to these projects that I'm working on, close to the date that we're leaving, then I will come on and ask you guys for your support, and I know you will support me. So that is for the projects in the US. The project, people are asking me to start projects in Jamaica. As I said before, I have a project in Ocho Rios that I've been doing privately with my own funds. I have been taking care of this education and institution to make sure the kids are in a safe environment, and to make sure that the safety of the school, the beauty of the school. I have painted the school. I have renovated the out. Not me, my funds. The principal hired people to do it, and was very transparent with me in me providing the funds to pay for the I would say the beautifying of the school. We painted it inside and out. We made the outside very attractive with artwork. So I am going to ask her permission to share this on my channel. So I hope you're satisfied, the person who has asked, what am I doing for my country? I hope you're satisfied that I am doing something in the area that I'm from. Because if each person do so, and Prince, he's from, what's the name of his ministry? I forgot his ministry. He does a lot in Ocho Rios also. But I've been in Ocho Rios from I've been doing stuff in Ocho Rios from the 90s. But everything has been private. So I will ask the principal of the school that I've partnered with. I'll ask her if she wants me to do a live in her school. I had planned to be in Jamaica next month to see the work that was done. I haven't seen it yet. She has sent me videos and they look wonderful. But I'd planned to be in person in Jamaica next month or for the Christmas season. But because my family is going through a lot right now with illness, I probably will not be able to be in Jamaica like I've planned. But I think I'll plan to be there, if God spare my life, in the Easter season to show that project down there and to ask her if she wants me to go live with it. But again, I have been helping my communities, both here in America and in Jamaica. I hope you're satisfied with my answer, and I will look into going public with these projects in the near future. Okay? God bless you all. Thank you for being here with me. And again, my goal is always, I hope that I've provided an avenue of thought and an avenue for you to look at the things that you can change in your life to become a better you. Have a good Sunday. Have a good week. Thank you so much.